Surprised to have a room full this evening. I hope you're not all here about the tax statements. Oh, we didn't get ours yet, so that'll be next month, I guess. All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the Tuesday, 5 December of the regular Board of Trustees meeting to order at 7 p.m. And being called to order, the next item on the agenda is a short invocation. Heavenly Father, I know that as a nation, we need you now more than ever. We lift your name up in praise for the blessings you have bestowed on this country. We pray that the people across the country will turn to you, for you are the ultimate source of freedom, hope, and peace. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Head.
Here.
Trustee Leaf.
Here.
Nelson. Pike.
Here.
President Wecken.
Here.
Trustee Zeiss.
Here.
Zappa.
Here.
Thank you. All right, item 2, review and approve minutes from the regular board meeting, 7 November 2017.
Stan, may I move approval of the November 7th meeting minutes?
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Is there any corrections, amendments to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Comments from the floor. This is an opportunity for residents to make the board aware of topics, issues, opportunities either on or not on tonight's agenda. And I think everybody here is on the agenda, so you have an opportunity to say anything now, or we can wait till your number comes up. Hearing none, we are up to item 4, citizens recognition by Police Chief Mark Rickert. Would you take over, Chief?
I can. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the board, esteemed guests that are here with us, and those on watching us from home. It's my privilege to be able to acknowledge residents when they make an impact on the village. We did one earlier this year for a young man who had noticed a fire well before the alarms had gone off in the residence, and tonight I have the honor of acknowledging another resident of the village who had somewhat of a similar event. But let me start with giving you a little bit of a biography before I discuss the recent event which brings him here tonight. Mike Baruka seems to me to be the epitome of a public servant. He has been involved in EMS or firefighting for at least the past 12 years, with another 4 years as a member of the Hudson Fire Explorers, and countless years before that as the son of a firefighter. Mike is a member of Hudson EMS, Hudson Fire, St. Joe Fire, Hudson and St. Joe First Responders, and has been the Hudson Fire Inspector for the past 2 years. Mike was recognized in 2010 with 8 of his fellow firefighters as Firefighter of the Year. And with that being said, Mike is present tonight because on Sunday, November 12th, 2017 at 10:21 p.m., Mike was paged as a St. Joseph first responder to the residence of a 56-year-old male who had fallen down some stairs. While en route to the medical, he observed smoke coming from the garage at the Tony and Jane Zappa residence. Mike stopped and pounded on the door to the residence and was able to wake Tony and Jane and get them out of the residence. Mike used his training and experience to then take command of the scene and assisted his department with extinguishing the fire and saving both the home and lives of Tony and Jane. It was later determined that there were no smoke detectors in the home, so we can't speculate, but without Mike's observations and quick actions, the outcomes could have been drastically different. Mike, if you'd like to join me up here, please, or join us. So Mike, tonight, Hudson Fire Chief Scott St. Martin and I would like to present you with a certificate of recognition for your actions and thank you for all you do for the communities that you serve. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Did you want to say anything?
This is very unnecessary. I don't think anyone in public safety does the job for recognition, but I really do appreciate this. Very happy that the outcome was as good as it could have been, given the circumstances, and everyone was able to go home. Thank you.
You know, we're fortunate Mike was the one who made the stop, but I think there's a lot of other firefighters who did it. But he's done a great job, and I'd like to sit up here and say I've been here a long time, but he's actually been here about 3 times longer than I have, so he's kind of the experienced one in the room. The nice part of this is it's nice to be able to help people, but it's really nice to be able to help people like this Appa family who have given to this community for years and years, and finally we can do something to give back to them a little. They're always helping us. Anytime we need something, Gary or Mark, whatever, they're there for us, so it's nice sometimes to be able to be there for them. So thanks, Mike, for doing that, and then thanks for you guys supporting us. You get us the equipment that we need, and that's why the fire's kept in the garage. You have good people that you have good equipment and are well trained and can do the job, and we have a lot more guys just like Mike. So thank you.
I noticed that our Rivertown Press is not in attendance again, but we have the Zappa family and Mike. I think if anybody's got cameras, I think some people have cameras. It'd be nice to get I think we should get a photo
In the paper.
To help the paper out a little bit if we if anybody.
Well, they took some photos, some people.
With
Yeah.
with Tony and Jane
Oh,
and
big photo, sure.
yeah. Oh, Tony wants.
Just there's a cord there, Tony, if you want to watch out on that side.
Related to you, right?
Excellent. Brought the tennis shoes today. Good plan.
Jane and I would like to extend our thanks to Mike for saving our lives, saving our house, and being a true fireman. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh, yeah. He was going to do a picture.
We got somebody to do a picture?
Yeah, he was
All right. You guys want to pick a spot? I mean,
over by the
up front or something so you can get a picture or with Mike? Tony? Jane?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, with the family. Go ahead. Whole family.
Well, why isn't he? Hold on, somebody's got our direct.
There you go.
Sorry, I can't help it.
He's good. There Yeah, watch the trip hazards. Camera's going down. Thank you very much.
Should have been in there.
Yeah, Barb, look.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you guys want to stick around, otherwise you can, you can head out. I mean, it's if this is very light entertainment usually, so we try to get through her quick,
I
but
just was wondering where the remote was at first. Thank you.
What?
Thank you. Happy holidays.
That's for the holiday display. It's all good,
We shall see.
huh? If she gets one, okay, we're clear. Next item on the agenda is the 2018 proposed budget for the Village of North Hudson. And the first item is to open the public hearing. This gives the public an opportunity to make comments on the budget as they've noticed in the paper. But Melissa will give you the Cliff's Notes version, I think, so that we can see what we got. Go ahead.
Okay, after a series of budget meetings held by the Finance Committee and staff members, the recommended 2018 village budget is as presented. The proposed levy is at $1,594,629, which is an increase to the village property tax levy of $29,829. This increase includes net new construction of 0.14% and principal and interest on new loan payments of $27,887. The village mill rate is 4.6 per thousand of assessed value and an overall mill rate of 18.48, which includes all taxing jurisdictions. It is anticipated that the unassigned fund balance will be $721,595 at the end of 2017, which is within the 25% of expenditures policy. Shared revenue remains consistent with 2017, and state transportation aid was increased slightly. There was a 19.6% increase in health insurance premiums. By staying on the current plan, premiums were still much lower than other available plans. A 3% wage increase for represented and non-represented employees was included. A $5.25 per capita increase to the MS contract was also included. However, final numbers may still come in slightly lower at a $3 per capita increase. $67,000 from year-end 2017 surplus was included for the construction of a possible salt shed for the municipal garage property and the purchase and installation of a new server for the general government department. This slide shows the comparison between taxes paid in 2016, 17, and 18, including all taxing jurisdictions, which include the state, the county, the village, the Hudson School District, and WITC. You will notice in the far right column that the state portion is 0 in 2018. The state used property taxes to levy funds for forestation, and with the new budget bill, that money will be obtained from other sources. You can also see that there is another large increase from the Hudson School District. The overall mill rate is 20.31, minus the school levy tax credit, which is much higher than the previous 2 years, brings the final overall mill rate to 18.48 per thousand of assessed valuation. This final slide does a good job showing what percentage of taxes paid goes to each taxing jurisdiction. You can see that the Hudson School District makes up 56% of the property taxes, followed by the village at 23%, the county at 19%, and finally WITC at 2%. And does anybody have any questions?
Board members? Anybody from the public? Hearing none, thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you.
And the next, we have the presentation. There's no public comments. And I can just declare it closed at...
The public hearing, yeah.
Public hearing is now closed at 7:15. Next item on the agenda, item 6, is Resolution 2017-08, adopting the 2018 annual village budget and establishing the tax levy. Approval requested. Is there a motion?
And may I move to adopt resolution number 2017-08, adopting the 2018 annual budget and establishing the property tax levy for the village.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Is there any questions or comments about the budget? Hearing none, and it is a budget spending type issue. Kathy?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The budget is approved. Item 7, Resolution 2017-09, confirming the dedication of North End Road as a public street and right-of-way. Approval requested.
Speak to this.
What's that?
I can speak to this.
Okay, Terry.
Yeah, so where the Quick Trip may go in on the north end of town, there is a little stub of North End Road that goes north off of 35, Highway 35, and as Quick Trip was doing their investigations, they discovered that there was no specific dedication of that piece of road in the historical documents of the real estate. And so the village engineer and I worked on that a little bit and came up with some history that does show it was in fact dedicated. I did not bring my packet of maps tonight, but there was a certified survey map, 1993, I think it was. Yep, my memory's still there a little bit. 1993, which was witnessed by then President Dennis Nordstrom and then village clerk Levon McCombie. And I looked at the old statutes from 1993, and at that time, the statute on platting and certified survey maps said that, you know, the village signature, basically the signature of the village president is sufficient for acceptance of a dedicated road on a map, and it is dedicated out as North End Road on the map. So, and I told Quick Trip, well, it is a road, and they said, well, we'd like the current board to do a resolution that they agree with that. So, so that's what the resolution before you tonight is just that, based on Kevin and my research, that little stub end of North End Road is in fact a village street, which we've been maintaining for 30 years anyway. So that's it.
Thank you, Terry.
Any questions on that?
Okay, any questions or other comments on this? Do we need a motion for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I move to approve resolution number 2017-09.
Thank you, Mark. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other questions or comments?
So
Brian?
we're not doing anything additional
As far as
Public Works goes? Okay. Thank you.
okay, resolutions. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, next is the election inspector appointments for 2018-2019 term. Approval requested.
Stan, may I move to appoint the following Republican and Democratic election inspectors: Cheryl Anderson, Meredith Berg, Robert Sizek, Kathy Coulter, Betty Goodwin, Joyce Law, Catherine Long, Jolene Mayer, Cecilia Phillips, Nancy Walls, Margaret Webb, Sandra Whalen, Carol Worrell, Karen Crawley, John Borup, Jennifer Borup, Mary Ann Hanley, Jean Schneider, Margaret Wopat, Sandra Ludke, Mary Kay Hunt, Deborah Monacan, Kathy Roberts, John Kryzik, Sarah Dobbins, Judy Seguin, Carol Harden for the term of January 1, 2018 to December 31st, 2019.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Brian. Any comments or questions? The candidates are all submitted by the individual parties, Republican, Democrat Party. So if you're a member in good standing, that's how I believe you get onto these, onto this group. Is that correct, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. We've got the inspector list, and that's not anything that needs roll call. So all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed?
I'm sorry, I've been doing this for 100 years. Is my name not on there? I did not.
They said your name.
Yeah.
Meredith?
She read your name.
I'm sorry, I didn't say it louder.
Well, he went, yeah, he went quick and quiet. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's on there.
I think she was first. I mean, almost.
Well, you're first in my mind anyway.
Exactly. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a request for a holiday display at Pepper Festival Park. Just a little background. That's why we have folks here that, they said, well, we don't have any Christmas or holiday decorations in the village, and well, we don't have a lot of extra money, so we haven't spent a lot of money on holiday decorations and stuff. And with a short, small public works crew and stuff, we haven't done that. But through, we've been approached by some of the members of the community to, if we buy the decorations, is it okay if we put them someplace in the park? And so what we're trying to do tonight is to either approve or deny the request that the citizens be able to, put up, holiday decorations. We have a permit, or we're going to have a permit process that, that states the dates when you can do it, and it all has to be done by the individual citizens, not by Public Works crew or anybody from, the board. And so, that being said, and that's why we have a lot of folks in the back row, I believe they're all in support of this request, and I guess we need a motion to.
Stan, may I move to approve the application for temporary seasonal holiday displays at Pepperfest Park?
So I would make a comment first. There's also a policy that goes along with it that Melissa and I came up with of the rules and trying to make sure that a holiday display does not become the burden or the liability of the village. So that was the main goal of the policy, and I don't know if you've all had a chance to read
Do
it.
we need a second first before we discuss?
Say that again? Oh, there should be a second first. I'm very sorry. Yeah, parliamentary procedure.
Mark was the initiator. Is there a second?
I'll second this.
Tim, thank you very much. Okay, now Terry.
Anyway,
continue.
so that's why the policy exists and how that was written up. And so if anybody has read it and has any questions on it, I'd be happy to answer them. But again, the main goal of it is to put the burden of putting up, taking down, vandalism, things like that to the thing. That's on the applicant who will retain ownership of the policy, and it won't be on the village, so to take care of it, to watch out for it, those sorts of things.
Yeah, and this is to, include, it's to people of different nationalities or religions or whatever celebrate Christmas or the holiday season differently. Whether it's Hanukkah, or Christmas season, and we'd invite anyone that, to share how they celebrate the holiday. We hope that everybody will be respectful. We hope there won't be any damage or anything out there, but we've had, we've seen what's going on around the country and stuff like that. But I think, to have a little Christmas spirit in the village, the Pepper Festival Park, I think is a good place for it to be. Sir, you can step up the mic, and that way everybody can hear. And your name and address, sir.
I'm Robert Cizik, and I live in North Hudson. And my question is about electricity. Would the village supply electricity for a display? Or is that something that we would be responsible for, or how does that work?
Well, part of the policy that we have written in there is there'll be a down, or what do we want to call it? Deposit of $75. That ensures that you don't come and pick the stuff back up, and that the electricity charge, once we get it, we would take we'd split it between the people that have filled out the permit and stuff.
Okay.
There's only a couple outlets there though, but
Yeah.
And if it would turn out to be very popular, you never know. If Pepper Festival has an extra couple of nickels for another plug-in over there, we could because they're always expanding and doing a great job there. So. Yeah, it would be something that would be covered by through the permit.
And one more question, I guess more of a comment. If we were to do like a nativity display, is there policy against that?
No, what's that?
Can I comment on that? No, there's no prohibition on a nativity display. Although I will just state for the board that other municipalities and states have implemented things like this and allowed nativity scenes on their property. And there are other groups who sometimes out of fun and sometimes out of other reasons, whatever their motives are, I don't know, who have also applied. And the courts have been very clear on this. If you allow a nativity scene, you pretty much have to allow the other groups as well. And for example, in the State House in Florida, one year they had a nativity scene. They had a pentagram from the Church of Satan. They had a Festivus pole from the TV show Seinfeld. And they had a display by the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which you can Google if you want. There are actually people out there who are members of the church. So those 4 displays were right there next to the nativity scene at the State House in Florida. So that's what can happen. So I'll just throw that out there, that if you allow a religious, if you can't be, you have to be content neutral as a board. You have to be content neutral. So
Is
that's
there
where the law stands. But absolutely, you can have a nativity scene.
Is there as far as the permit goes, is there a thing in there where you can like ask for a certain piece of property or a certain park or something like that, just to prevent another opposing display right next to it?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's got to be open. I mean, and it's just Pepper Festival Park for right now. This is a, we're trying this for the year to see how it goes. I mean, it could get, it's not worth it, that depends on what happens. I mean, I don't know what, because, like Terry said, you read about the different parts of the country that stuff happens. It's like,
yeah,
maybe it won't happen here.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. Thank you.
Meredith. I'm sorry, but you're soft-spoken, Meredith, and we need.
No, I'm not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sit down.
I happen to know that at the state. No, Meredith Berg, North Hudson.
Thank you.
Sally Zally. I happen to know that in Madison, at the Capitol, there is a nativity scene, and right next to it, now I can't remember exactly what House of Satan or something like that is right there, and I have a friend who is with the government, and she said, everybody knows that these people are going to do their thing no matter what happens, and let them do it, and we'll just, you take it however you want it. But if they can do it in the state capitol, I think we can do it here too. So if somebody wants to put up Mr. Candy Monster or something, that's fine.
Thank you, Meredith. Anybody else, comments or questions? And we have
well,
right.
We talked about this last year when we went into the whole church-state issue. And as I said last year, and I'll say it again, I'm a former pastor, pastored for over 20 years, and ran into a lot of church and state issues between Christian day schools and church and these kind of issues. And my experience says that jumping into that is opening up a can of worms that I'm not sure we really want to face. I would personally not recommend it, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with you. Same reasons.
I'd be in line with that as well.
What's that?
I'd be in line with that as well.
You don't want to decorate for Christmas, is
No,
that?
I think, Stan,
I think we ought to leave it on the church.
No,
What?
it's not wanting to decorate for Christmas or celebrating Christ's birth. Right, but it's the continuation of separation, and it's not bringing a burden onto the village of North Hudson that we don't have to.
And we have churches.
Well, yes, we do. But we also have people that are, that would like to express, remind people what the season is about is part of it. And if it's a nativity scene, if it's, a menorah or whatever, the separation of church and state is not the separation from religion.
Right.
It's just,
it's just the way things have been ruled on, and I think we should ask this girl here too, what she's learned. She must have learned some things.
I think when we ran into this last year, we deferred it for a year to get
a policy in place.
Attorneys look at it.
Right.
So I'm assuming this keeps us safe, if you will, as a government entity. And
Only if we allow everyone to participate.
yes,
That's
well,
correct.
I think we all know that going in. I welcome diversity. I'm hopeful that it's used properly. I'm fairly certain it is. To me, it's worth implementing it because something like this can be rescinded as well. So I think to go into it worrying, I'm not high-minded enough to worry about the separation church and state all that much. I think in this particular case, we're a smaller community. And we have some people who may be interested in doing this. I think we should give it an opportunity to see if we can see the best in people rather than the worst.
Pat?
One question I had, could we control it to have only North Hudson residents only to put it up?
Did we do that?
I don't see it in here.
It's not in the
Good
policy.
Yeah, I don't think you could, because this is not, this is government property. This isn't just residents of North Hudson property, although the residents do bear the greater
That's what I'm
cost of
saying,
it,
yeah.
but, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, just curious, because I know it's not in there, that's why
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Good, Pat, would you like to?
Is it okay if I don't live in North Hudson?
Yeah, you can come. Yeah,
You're fine.
public meeting.
Depends what you have to say.
Pat Saban, Town of Hudson. I didn't really plan on speaking tonight, but since we seem to be going in the wrong direction on this, I believe these displays have been ruled free speech. And I guess the attorney can more speak on this than I can, but you cannot restrict free speech based on content. And that's kind of what seems to be being brought up here, is because of the content of the free speech. There are people that do not want to have this done. As long as it is open, like Stan, like you said, to anybody that wants to put this up, then I think the law out there is pretty clear that Meredith should be able to put the scene up in the park. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
I would comment on that. So the law is very clear that you don't have to allow any displays at all if you don't want to. But if you do allow a display, then you have to be content neutral, and you have to allow other groups. That's where the law stands. So you don't have to allow this. You just, if you do allow it, you just have to allow other groups as well.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to, unless there's more comments.
Any comments from the administrator? Have you done any research?
I did reach out to other clerks in the state with a general question if they allowed it. I did get a call from I believe it was clerk from Saukville, I believe it was. She called me right away, advised against it because they had done it and they had a special interest group that sought them out and threatened to sue them, so they no longer do it.
Saukville is basically a suburb of Milwaukee, about the same distance we are from the cities, probably.
Mm-hmm. That was probably the main response. I mean, a couple other ones just advised against it. But that's the only responses I received.
Not because it's unlawful, but because it creates a can of worms, I think is the phrase, that in some places it has done that.
Well, and, you know, I'm with the, you know, I'm going to vote in favor of it because it's an experiment. I mean, if we can do this, it might be very well received. There's a lot of places now that are actually, you know, they're embracing Christmas again, and they are, it's bringing certain communities together rather than apart. And that's what we ultimately want to do. I mean, like I said, it's not what religion you are from and how, it's to say how you celebrate it. You have different, customs in Norway or France or wherever your heritage is from, and if that's a special, ornament or something like that you have that you want to share with people and maybe have some history to it. That's, that's what this is about. I mean, it's not about,
I concur with you, Stan. The downside is it's used the word experiment. I agree. It's something that can change. We can see what happens, but in my opinion, to run scared from all these potential things is like what's left,
Exactly.
And the what was it?
Saukville
episode. They were threatened with something, right? Nothing happened. If we're presented with a similar situation,
They stopped doing it, yes.
we can stop doing it, and I think people will understand, but we tried. And I can't leave tonight without at least trying to do it.
It isn't North Hudson I'm worried about. I think Jesus is a reason for the season as a former pastor. But it's the outside special interest groups that
I know, but what I was
will
saying-
come in after us. They're looking for people like us. That's what I worry about.
I don't think we're looking for a fight. I think if that presents itself, then I can still live with this my decision of going with it, because we'll just cease to do it.
If it's not us, who? Yeah, I want to.
I'm Mary Kane, and I live in St. Joe's, and I'm really proud of you guys for wanting to do this. I think people are really tired of being politically correct and living in fear all the time. That's what everything is based on, is fear. And that's not what God wants from us, is to live in fear. He wants us to have joy. And we're always going to have something evil. There's evil all around us. But I think we should start being what we feel is right, too, and not have everything taken away from us. And I'm very proud of you for allowing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, further discussion.
One other did you have any limitation as far as the existing trees and taking use of those that we have on the park?
We didn't have any limitations there. I mean, if you mean for like stringing lights or something
Just
like
curious,
that.
yeah, if something like that would.
Well, I think I think everybody's allowed 40 square foot area.
40 square feet, but it was that area, I'm just questioning it,
So if the village wanted to put lights up, there would be no problem with the village putting lights up.
Okay.
If a private citizen wanted to put lights up, they'd have to follow the policy.
Okay.
Just like anybody else.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Kathy?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, and I was, hearing from both sides, so I'm gonna run a roll call vote on this, please. Ted? Yea or nay?
Nay.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Tie vote fails.
Tie vote fails. Okay, I'm sorry, but the board is not ready to go into a Okay, item 10, new business from the board or staff. The first thing I would like to say as President's comments is I know one of the wishes on the Public Works Committee's list this year is that people would quit using the flushable wipes. They're plugging up our pumps in all our sewer systems throughout the village. We've been trying to get the word out. We're trying to get the word out that, so that we don't keep spending money fixing pumps and having the guys have to come in on overtime on weekends or whatever when we have a system fail. So I know, and it says flushable, but yeah, they'll go down the first part, but when they get to the pumps, it's all it does is plug them up. So please share with your neighbors. We would do a mailing or whatever, but that costs a lot of money, and obviously we're trying to always save money here. So please, if you can make the Public Works people happy for Christmas, they don't have to come out on Christmas Day to unplug one of the lift stations or whatever. So we'd really appreciate that. And then I would like to say happy Hanukkah, and I hope everyone has a safe and Merry Christmas, and that and those that don't celebrate the holidays, we wish you well also. Melissa?
Yes, there were 2 new elections recently added due to Sheila Harsdorf's resignation from her Senate seat. There will be a special primary election for State Senator District 10 on Tuesday, December 19th, 2017, as well as a special election on Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. In-person absentee voting is now open for the December election. It is also time to think about the 2018 spring election. Individuals interested in getting on the ballot for the spring election can pick up the paperwork from me. The first day to circulate nomination papers was December 1st. The deadline to file all paperwork with the clerk is 5 o'clock p.m. on January 2nd, 2018. The spring election will be on April 3rd, 2018. There will be 3 village trustee positions on the ballot. Incumbents are Ted Head, Brian Pike, and Tim Zeiss.
Thank you, Melissa. Item 11, Plan Commission did not meet. Item 12, Personal and Finance Committee recommendations. First is claims approval requested.
Stan, may I move approval of the December 2017 non-recurring claims of $33,413.75.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
I'll second, Stan.
Is it
Ted.
Ted? Okay, motion and a second for approval of claims. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none. Kathy?
Yes.
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 Thank you. B, assignment of remaining funds from the Public Works Garage loan and the Public Works Truck and Catch Basin loan approval requested.
Stan, may I recommend to move / transfer move to transfer $10,520 remaining from the Public Works Truck and Catch Basin project loan to an assigned fund to be used for future catch basin repairs, and transfer the remaining funds from the Public Works Garage loan to an assigned fund to be used for future improvements to the property.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Is there any comments, questions? Hearing none. It's a funding thing. Ted?
Yes.
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 Thank you. 2018 contracts discussion and approval requested.
Stan, can I move to approve the Animal Humane Society and Village of North Hudson contract for the following year? Upcoming year?
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Any questions or comments? There's a slight increase in the fees for this year, but otherwise there's not many other places that she uses for impound, so yeah, it's a contract. So Kathy?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Number 2, building inspector, zoning administrator contract. Brian Wirt.
Stan, can I move to approve the independent contractor agreement between the building inspector, Brian Wirt, building inspector and zoning administrator, and the Village of North Hudson, Brian Wirt and the Village of North Hudson?
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Any discussion? Hearing none. Contract. I think Ted's turn.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Item 13, Public Works Committee recommendations.
Stan, Public Works did not meet in November, but I do have a few items I wanted to bring up as way of year-end update. We had all hydrants in the village flushed and serviced for 2017. We had approximately 15 hydrants that got painted this year, and this is an ongoing, continual process. A lot of work has been done on our catch basins. We patched, I think, 68 of them this year, if that's right. And there were numerous other ones that we had to do cement work on. The sinkhole in Woodcrest Park was repaired. I want to make sure that's out there. The storm sewer catch basin on Deer Path and Summers was cemented and patched on the floor, and that sinkhole that was there in the right-of-way has been fixed. And almost, I think all of our guys will have their water license operator tests completed by the end of this year.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Brian. Public safety's next, Mark.
And we have one action item that already was at finance tonight. It's been around for a little while. And I'll move to recommend to authorize the purchase of 4 tactical helmets, 4 tactical vests, and 2 ballistic shields in an amount not to exceed $13,500.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Is there any discussion, questions, or comments? Hearing none. Kathy?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Public welfare, I don't believe met. And the park board chair is not here, but there was, in their notes, there was a question on park board about the Woodcrest Park. One question was about, there's a drainage issue. And then there was another question about, was there a water main there? And I'd just like to clarify for anybody that looks at those notes or whatever, that it was a drainage issue, a pipe that helps the water go from Woodcrest Park, which is fondly known as Pond 9 in my neighborhood, because that's where I live. And it was a pipe to move the water from there down to Lake Malu that had separated and had needed to be repaired. The water was still getting there, but it was taking a little more time than the direct route since the pipe separated. So there's no water main break there. 8th Street's got the monopoly on that right now. So I just wanted to do clarification of that. And the ad hoc committee for the sewer and water with Hudson did not meet again. And so we get to item 19, which this meeting is adjourned at 7:47.
Got Tom here.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Tom's here.
Well, yeah, Tom was here for the
Okay.
DK. I mean, he has to be here for the first part in order to get the
Okay.
because he's not on the agenda. Can't put stuff on the agenda that
I thought he just might give us an
just
update.
because I want to. 'Cause that stuff doesn't get done.